Hi Libra, welcome to your early April 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. I actually am going to probably call this mid-April because I I started doing readings at the very beginning of the month. Now we're already at the 7th day, so it's not that early anymore. And I was just looking at my recent videos that I've put up, and it just is like so. It just seems like it's just a hodgepodge. So I have to get myself back on track of focus, 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 because I'm here, I'm there, and so it's possible that I will be labeling some of the ones after yours late April or something like that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a second set. We'll see. So don't get confused if you see that you are not in that list, because I might just do one at the midpoint and then that's it for the month for the updates. And I'm also going to be picking a Lemurian oracle card, which I just got in the mail last week, and I've been kind of exploring. So those are kind of fun. I just got a new deck. Wow, you got some interesting cards here. Very nice. I always like to see the Sun and the Magician in a reading. You know, very self-empowering. And I'm going... Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it like that. You know, sometimes I go, oh, I'm not going to end the reading like that. But there's a reason why this reading is so positive that I think the Ten of Swords means something positive as well. All right. Well, I'm just going to, what the heck, I'll just pick an additional card. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Sun card, which is so positive overall. We can just talk about love, creativity, children, success, prosperity, healing. And this is a card associated with Leo. We also have in the past position a card that is associated with, I think this should be Leo. I don't really know who it's associated with. I know the Queen of Wands is Sag. I don't know if the King of Wands is Leo. But somebody who has really stepped into their own power. And I feel like this is you. You just had a full moon in your sign about, couple weeks ago. And you might have finally put something to rest in your life that you were maybe on the fence about. No Libras ever are on the fence about anything, right? But no, seriously, and you just kind of said you're resolute about something. And so it's like you've made your mind up. You're not going to be affected by a particular situation, and so it is. And this is something that you can feel comfortable about doing, because you know that the time is here, that it has to be done. And the higher message is the Judgment card. So sometimes this can, in a reading, this is the position that's in makes it a little bit tricky, but in general, this could even be like a legal judgment that you're waiting for instance, a divorce, or if you're in some kind of arbitration at work, some kind of conflict that they have to decide who's right and who's wrong. You might be waiting on that. How I see these cards all together, how I would read them, is that you're honoring yourself now, Libra, in your life. So on the job, maybe you have been taken advantage of. Maybe you have been maybe you haven't had your true talents tapped, and you've been doing grunt work or something that isn't in alignment with your qualifications, because they make some reason why that has to happen. and you're feeling pretty, you were feeling pretty dissed in a way. I don't know how to, not respected, disrespected, because it's almost like treating you like you're just the hired help, and you're not, you're doing all the stuff that doesn't take the kind of talent that you have that you want to bring to the table. And this can run the gamut with Libra. Libra is a very talented sign, and you make a natural leader. And if you step into that position, and the sun, because it is connected to Leo, it is a fire energy, and the fire represents the individual. It represents your personal path, your autonomy, your sovereignty. And you may have felt like an indentured servant in a way for whatever reason. So that might be something that you had to sort out in your mind. Like, who am I? What am I? What do I stand for? Am I going to let these people tell me who I am? And you may have answered that question, said, no, nobody tells me who I am, what I'm capable of. I get to make that determination. And so there's a dignity with the sun, in other words, and you're kind of choosing that. Now, the judgment card at a higher level, if we look at it from a higher level, can be a sense of, am I making the right calls in my life? And do I need to improve that? Have I been discerning enough in the past? Have I allowed people into my life who are not really on my side? So, like if this is a personal relationship, this may be somebody who you, like if you're getting a divorce or you've left a relationship over someone who hasn't been respectful of you, then it's like reclaiming that sovereignty and that self-love and really giving that to yourself. Interestingly, what just popped in my mind, and I'm starting to really honor what just pops into my mind instead of just disregarding it. I was thinking of, since the sun is about children, it can be a situation of parenting yourself in the way, if you did not get that for yourself, then you parent that for yourself. So if the judgment card is an inheritance or something, but something that caused you to become philosophical about your life in general, then that can really, and maybe there are hurts associated with it. It can help you to reframe it so that you feel more self-empowered. What crosses you is the Ace of Swords. In the upright position, this card represents cutting through illusion and starting something new, having some kind of victory based on maybe stressful events in your life, but being able to do so. I always see this specifically as a card of whether the person is seeing the truth or they're deluding themselves or somebody else is deluding them. That's how I see it. So I see this as perhaps refusing to really see a situation for what it was. So perhaps all of those things I said on the top row are true for you. Like the judgment card can be a card of rebirth, but that can come from a legal judgment as well. If you get divorced and you feel a sense of or if you move out and you're living with someone and you feel a sense of there's a new day ahead. And even if the other person was the one to leave you, you might still, after a mourning period, you might say, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And the judgment, the Ace of Swords in the challenge position can mean, look at that situation from a realistic standpoint. Don't still be operating under any kind of illusions of what really happened, whether it's work-related or otherwise, because you never know. Somebody from that situation could come back and try to lure you into another go-around. Maybe they're not as happy with their life as they were before, and they realize, wow, this person had a lot more importance in my life than I gave them credit for. And so they might be trying to, come back, and you might feel that sense of, oh, wow, they came back. Oh my gosh, I'm really desirable. And it's really that they don't have a sense of their own power, and they're just looking to toy with somebody. They may not even know this on a conscious level. They just know that they're always going here and there and everywhere, and they're never committing to anyone, and they're just breaking hearts, but they're also hurting themselves in the process. What's coming in is the Magician card. So there's no question that this is an energy associated with empowerment and sovereignty. Sovereignty means that you are your own, you're the captain of your own ship. But what I really meant in addition to sovereignty is the idea of being resourceful. The Magician is creating their own reality and their own, whatever it is that they want, through their own efforts. They're not dependent on somebody else to give them good things in life. They're manifesting it for themselves, manifesting their destiny. And one of the things too about the Magician card is that it's connected to Aries, and that was maybe the King of Wands is Aries. I was getting a little bit distracted by the sun, and I thought maybe that was kind of confirming it's a Leo, but it's fire energy. So even this is fire energy. The number one card, labeled number one, the Fool is the first card. There's no question about that. Now, I did chicken out a little bit, and I did pick an additional card, but the Ten of Swords, this is a card of betrayal, but it's also, number 10 is, represents the end of a cycle. So this can mean a situation where you are experiencing some kind of a cycle ending in your life. Like I said, you had a full moon in your sign happening at the end of March. Now, for a lot of you, the full moon in Scorpio is going to be in your first house, not the one in Libra. So that might be the time, yeah, because that'll be, when is that? April 26th or 27th, wherever you live. And that could be a time of endings for you in your life, in your day-to-day life, that your life, or your life as a whole, I should say. And endings are also new beginnings. So all of these cards, there's the idea that something wonderful has arrived or is on its way. But there's also this idea of something ending. And so that might be, and one of the interpretations in my Tarot Plain and Simple book is the worst is over. So if you have been suffering with something, it's like on an upward swing. And then the additional card I got is the Four of Cups. This card, you can see, can mean indifference to somebody's advances or offering. Now, typically with cups, we can say on the emotional level. So somebody maybe is trying to, curry your favor, or, get you to emotionally be on your side, their side, and you're not having it. And if this is a romantic relationship, a Libra person is, committed to their partner, but they're capable of leaving their partner too. They're not, Libra is a cardinal sign. It's an air sign. So it has detachment, and it also has the ability to initiate action. So if you're not happy with something, you're not just going to tolerate it forever. And likewise, I don't see you going for round 2 if you've made up your mind. And if you have found another job, or if you have created your own business and you don't need a former employer, the same thing applies. They may try to lure you, they may try to flatter you, or connect with you emotionally, and you're just you're done. You know what I mean? So I think that those are cards to just remind you, in case you have that weak spot inside of yourself, a little soft spot for flattery, or just the person's attempts to get you back in their good graces or something. So very interesting. But it is an overall positive reading, I would say. Now let's pick a card from the Lemurian deck. I'm just going to cut the cards and pick the first one that comes up here. Oh, it's hard to lift. Luminescence. I wonder if I got this for your opposite sign of Aries. I thought I did. This is number 30, was it 35, I think? I'm just going to read from the booklet, only because I'm still learning about this deck, and I just want to kind of get it in my own brain. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's pretty long. Oh my God. What's the first word that I see? Self-love. Self-love, the light that radiates from our hearts, light shining in the darkness, heart-centered living, removing your heart armor. Heart-centered living, the sun, accepting your shadows as the flip side of your strengths. A vulnerable, wide open heart. Authentic, heartfelt needs. I'm just going to read this part because it seems like it's more proactive and not just descriptive. It says, love is the most potent and healing tool that we have, and the more we feel, the more we create. It's contagious too. The more we live from our hearts, the more we find it in our lives. So how do we kickstart this wholeness of being? Be present and authentic with your heartfelt needs. Have an awareness and a softening toward your unloved parts. It may seem easier said than done, but start seeing things from a gentler, more compassionate place. Away from judgment. There you go. There's that judgment card. In the bigger picture, we are all doing the best we can within our circumstances. Divinatory meaning. Consider the parts of yourself you may not be accepting. You may be experiencing an inner dissonance due to what you are trying to push away. This card is about self-love. That is the deep, compassionate, unconditional love of self that brings you into wholeness. Luminescence means the essence of light. There is nothing that makes us shine more than a heart that is full of love. You can shine through the shadows most gracefully when there is no fear within. Accept your shadow so they can more easily resolve. Allow more light and love inside and out of your world. Interesting, because there's that card, the sun, that is connected to love in all its forms, not just romantic love. What else can I say? Well, one thing I was thinking about when I think about shadows and shadow work and things like that, I think about the 8th house. And for you, that's under the sign of Taurus. And so we are having transits in Taurus, and we are going to have in May a new moon here. So there can be this new birth of your ability to love yourself, and to kind of integrate those parts of yourself that you reject, because Libra is a sign that does tend to want acceptance from others. Part of it is just that having harmony within relationships, because that's just the way that you roll. You want peace. You are the natural mediator. So you don't want any kind of relationship that you have to be filled with bad vibes. And that makes perfect sense. The only problem is that's not how life works, is it? We can't control other people, and sometimes we do have to make waves. Sometimes we're being asked to do things that are unacceptable, and it can feel very challenging, because we may feel that we are very we feel put upon. And I don't know why I'm saying we. I'm just saying as human beings, but I'm saying you may feel. I'm like, I'm not a Libra. I'm a Sagittarian. But Librans may feel sometimes that they have to go along to get along. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, or you just have to go, you have something that you want to do that doesn't involve somebody else. I think that's the other thing too. You just function very well as part of a couple. And so in personal relationships, you work out very well, or even as a team player, you just are somebody who's naturally agreeable, and that is just, you probably prefer working with somebody else, but sometimes you have to do things for yourself because you have your own vision. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this and that it resonated. If you'd like a personal reading, I do mainly astrology readings using your natal chart. I do tarot readings as well, and I have specials that are double astrology readings called deep dive readings. And they give you more time and for a special price, and a combination natal chart and tarot reading called the whole enchilada. So please check out my website. The link is below. Take care. Bye.